Hey, let's talk about you, the ID10T community events at ID10T.com, like Russ Stevens, aka
CatBus Russ,
who has started a podcast called 90 for Chill, which Russ says is dedicated to movies with a runtime between 74 and 99 minutes, the time frame that I feel is ideal. Russ, I could not agree with you more. That is a fantastic idea. Russ goes on to say there are times you need a cinematic fix but don't have time for the latest Scorsese masterpiece or offering from a comic book universe. There's also times when you need a conclusion to prevent a binge costing you a whole night. My guest and I try to follow these guidelines as we chat up features that are definitely worth your time and are beyond easy to make time for. 90 for Chill, the podcast, can be found on all major podcast platforms at 90forchill.com, and that's spelling out 90, Ninety, 4 FOR, chill. So there you go. Thank you so much for sharing, Russ. Really great idea for a podcast. Events at ID10T.com for everyone else.
That should never be spoken of, never be written about.
Appreciate you coming.
I love your book.
Thank you. There are those stories that have never been heard. Some of it just handed down from family to family for generations. And some of it never written down. People aren't born evil. I think there's darkness out there that locks down on the natural world. And I think once it does, it's really hard to escape.
She's coming back.
Little Hand says it's time to rock and roll.
bring the noise. So we gonna see who's gonna try the Angus Scrim laugh, the tall man. As I open every episode, I'd like to state this podcast is protected under the laws of the United States and other countries. Unauthorized duplication, distribution, or exhibition may result in civil liability, criminal prosecution, and the wrath of the tall man. Boy! Okay, so this is I Did Crazy Flicks presents 90 for Chill, the podcast. I am the host, CatBus Russ, and along with me is frequent guest Gregory Carl, and he was on recently. We discussed the movie Death Proof, which I know, does not meet that criteria of being between 70 and 100 minutes, but, with a rebranding from 90 for Chill to I Did Crazy Flicks, we got to be a little more open to what we can do, because as long as the movie is bonkers, I'm willing to chat about it. So thinking about crazy movies, I mean, we've been at a lot of panels on this Indianapolis Comic-Con 2025, and I would say, I can't really say I've seen a lot of Chris Alexander stuff, honestly. We're going to get acquainted with it, definitely. What disc did you get?
What's at home? I got Necropolis Legacy and a copy of his book.
Yep. Well, luckily you got the copy of his book. He sold out by the time I finally worked up the nerve. I'm not a very social person per se. I just, but I always got a lot to talk about. Usually I'm a lot better when I'm drunk, just because I'm in a bar, what have you.
Better.
I'm sorry.
You weren't better. You think you're better, but you're not better.
Well, typically I do a lot of drinking on the podcast, but what I'm saying is that from a social aspect, like I'm at a bar, I'm very quiet, keeping to myself, and then somebody says something totally stupid, and that just unleashes my superiority complex. But if I'm comfortable in the crowd, like at the a bunch of Mark's wrestling podcasts we were just at, I will, again, I hear something off the wall and I'll just speak up. Like, oh, they're not going to put 17 on John Cena. Why is the record so important? Because Ric Flair is a sex offender. That's not the reason. That is the reason.
I think you care way more about that stuff than most people do. Most of us are just trying to enjoy things. Most of us don't really care about the controversy.
Well, for me with that, it's like when they bring up Hulk Hogan, it's like, well, the reason why they keep bringing back Hulk Hogan is because AEW will not hire Hulk Hogan. Tony Khan's made that clear.
Well, I don't think that's the reason WWE keeps bringing him back. I think it's just because he's Hulk Hogan. He's a legacy guy. Also, it's kind of odd he's selling beer now, right?
Yeah, I know the beer. He's gone on that right wing thing, and I don't know. Pretty much everybody in WWE in top spots are right wingers. Cody Rhodes, I could basically say, yeah, there's a lot of reasons why I watch AEW. But
anyway, you got Queen of Blood. I almost picked that one up. He actually just handed me the Necropolis Legacy because he only used cash, and it took me a while to find an ATM along track. And I'm like, you know what? You made that journey. Just take this movie. You're gonna love this movie.
All right. Well, with me, working up there, and then I just I was grabbing that, and I was reading the back of the Queen of Blood, and found out from writer, director, composer Chris Alexander, the editor-in-chief of Fangoria. I mean, guy had plenty of cred. You had great panels. What was his panel last night with the guy who directed the Final Destination first movies? Because I know the one we went to first was just his 10 horror movies, which I don't think we really got 10 that you'd never heard of.
It was just about his book, more or less.
All right.
But the one last night, I don't remember what it was called because it was in, both of them were in this room back to back, so I just kind of stayed for both of them.
All right. Yeah. So I was holding up Queen of Blood, and it says it's a sequel. Thank you for jumping in. No, we're not going to read the entire back of the disc.
Yeah, he definitely has a type. He's definitely into vampire women.
Yeah. Oh, 2 alternative endings, but no, I did not.
Really?
I did not catch that, as this is a sequel to the middle portion of a trilogy. That it's a sequel to Blood for Brina, and that disc is in this. So,
nice.
Amen. And he autographs it. So, as I say, I really wish I could have got his book. I almost bought the Corman book, but I think that's a little. I mean, when you go to enjoyment, that is a lot more academic, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
So yeah, we got
Probably interesting.
Oh no, Roger.
That guy could do a lot with a little.
Oh, Roger Corman, I think my fellow panelists on the 1995 bad sci-fi movies, she almost killed me because I said, no, Species doesn't belong there. What do you mean? No, I'm saying that as a compliment. Species is a classic.
Yeah, it definitely awakened some things in me for sure.
Yeah. No, and she was and she went on the great how she likes horror to just be about the idea of just what would you do in that situation. Because she was talking about how she has a cornfield, so she has a corn maze, and she's got to witness people do all the stupid stuff that people do in horror movies when they're running scared. So it's a haunted corn maze. I should add that. So really, really great panel last night, and she was got a lot of good recommendations for crazy horror from the audience. Good crowd. I need my ex-girlfriend here. She had
Yell at you?
No, she could hallucinate some audience members at least. So I know it's 4:00. It's the 9th inning. People are getting to their cars, getting out of Indianapolis. Pleasant enough town. Just got to fix all these bloody potholes.
Oh, yeah, that no joke, man. I thought I fell into a sinkhole on the way to the hotel.
Oh no, and you can see them coming pretty much all downtown. It's but pretty good con. They've been able to work out with just trying to deal with the Big Ten basketball championship.
Yeah.
And they got a cheerleader competition somewhere in this building.
Really?
Oh yeah, when I was at the nerd comedy panel, we started hearing screams, and I'm like, "Oh, this is what you get when you don't have a metal detector."
Oh, I thought those were cosplayers the entire time.
No. They were doing that.
Speaking of cosplay, when we got here, remember all the TV people I pointed out, the TV heads?
Yeah.
Turns out it's not from any specific thing. It's just a kind of character that people are doing these days.
Huh. If you don't have anything playing on the TV, though, I don't get it. Like, okay, great. Now I'm bad mouthing that. Who's gonna hear?
Each of their own. I mean, it's kind of a cool thing. And like,
It was
bugging me. Like, oh, it's not really anything. It's just a character we do sometimes.
Well, I don't know. It's probably got some kind of creepypasta to it.
Yeah, probably.
I'm just thinking, like, put on a white box around it. Give me Jailbot from Super Jail.
Maybe some kind of SCP thing.
Yeah. Oh, well, we were bringing it up. The Persona 5. Oh, no, Persona 4. Yeah.
They get sucked into the TVs.
I
think there are people with TV heads in that, too.
Yes, but they were all CRTs because it was, again, like, the length of time. People complain about the length of time between GTA games. The Persona games, like, it was a good 15 years before we got Persona 5.
100 hours, man.
Well, yeah, no, plenty to do, but so I want to just going through my phone, make sure I get the schedule pulled up.
No, it's fine. No one's here.
That's again the girlfriend
Just
joke.
me, you, and the sound guy.
Thank you for all your assistance, sir. Okay.
It's actually kind of cool. We could probably swear if we wanted to.
I gave you an explicit episode a couple weeks ago. I'd like to keep it PG-13.
You were explicit, sir. I was being
so we had a conversation a little bit about the word. I will just say, since I don't want to cross that line, then
I don't think you're going to offend that guy. He's unoffendable.
Well, I did see a video on YouTube. It was not YouTube, Facebook Reel. If you want to call somebody this, you just say, "Then we are there."
What?
Yeah. No, or that's that. Basically the "see you next Tuesday" equivalent. So for that word.
I think I'd go with the Opie Anthony one, the little man in the canoe.
Well,
you
see, I don't think about that.
In a canoe.
I don't think about it like that, just because the first time I ever heard it, and I offered it, I was telling Chris Alexander, because we were talking about aging and such. The only bad part about aging is death, and I don't know. I'd like to know about phantom limb syndrome, because I could stand. If it isn't a guarantee. I could stand to lose my lower left leg. The knee is shot. The ankle is shot. Give me a cool prosthetic. And then he brought up, well, they're eventually going to clone us into... If we can live long enough, they'll clone us into avatar bodies. And I'm like, well, holograms was the way I was going.
We're not living long enough.
Oh, yeah. It's well, I mean, we don't want to be a political podcast. So,
I don't know if I want to be implanted into some kind of Elon Musk pod.
Oh, no, they're just going to make you the AI in a Tesla. I mean, we remember when he was debuting his drones, and I state drone in the sense of a, robot. And it's like, no, those are just people inside them. We're not quite there yet. It's so it's a.
They've been doing that for a while, though. I've heard a lot of those robots that they put on at the shows and whatnot, demonstrations and whatnot. It's almost always just a guy in a suit.
Yep. Kind of event schedule. There we go. As I work on that. So we got to, but getting back on the concept of 70 to 100 minutes. Ideal running time. Chris Alexander pulling up again. He was saying you're right there. I'm leaning a little more towards 70 minutes. Closer you can get to that.
I think it kind of depends on what you're trying to do. I think runtime kind of varies on the story. But I think for a long time, movies have been entirely way too long. There's, I think, mostly because the way people don't really watch things like they used to. Things more tend to be on in the background. So there's a lot more of people more like describing what they're doing. Like it's a movie, but sometimes the dialogue comes off kind of like a radio play. So you know what's going on, but you don't necessarily have to look at it.
Okay, well, no, that's actually a clever take on it. I don't know if you could do that with great movies, though. Like,
when's the last great movie that's actually come out? Because I can't think of an actual great movie that's come out in several years. There's been good movies, but nothing I've thought were great.
Oh, what about Pearl and Maxine?
They're pretty good movies.
I mean, I think...
But they didn't blow my mind. Like, there's nothing I'd never seen before, but they were really good movies.
Well, Pearl, I was, I'll say Maxine, that was Ty West's David Fincher movie, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
It's not as much the horror, despite there's,
But what a ride, dude. When she puts her keys in her fist and just wails on Kevin Bacon's face. Oh, man.
Well, I would look like when she...
He's so sleazy in that movie,
Oh, no,
too.
it's good bait.
Such a
Everybody
scumbag.
is great in that. Bobby Cannavale, was it Kerry Russell, I think, as the other cop?
I think so.
Okay, and then you had Giancarlo Esposito as the lawyer, and I just find that is a stamp of approval when you get Giancarlo Esposito in your movie. I didn't really care for the Far Cry 5, and I hear Far Cry 6 is nothing, but I can't help it when I see him on the box art as the villain. So, that's 2024. I mean, granted, the movie I said was the best thing I found in 2024 was actually Coraline. And I really wanted to say, well, maybe the 4:30 movie from Kevin Smith, that was pretty good. And I found this movie called Shredder Orpheus, which was shot on VHS tape in Seattle in 1989 and then transferred to film. And I got it on Vinegar Syndrome disc, but it's basically a retelling of Orpheus's tale of his wife dying and he goes to hell to save her. But hell is a TV station called... the Euthanasia TV network.
That sounds really interesting.
Yes.
You have to write that. You have to message me that later. I have to look that.
Oh, yeah.
I have to look for that.
Well, I as I say, I was doing my best to argue for that, and it's like I can't really argue with probably Selznick's best stop motion movie. It's between that and it's a. I'm skipping over James and the Giant Peach. I felt that was a bad translation. Not his fault, just Roald Dahl is very difficult to translate. I mean, that's why everybody likes Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is fine, but that's Tim Burton at his, work for hire. Like, it's nice when we were talking about that. I think it was when I did the... with Paul Draper, the magician. I really wish I remembered his set, but I wasn't really remembering much by that point. It was 8 o'clock. That we were doing a panel on Young Frankenstein. And like all the other panels, except for the Last Jedi one, none of us who were doing the panel pitched it. Hence why Lynette Eklund was like, "Oh, we're just gonna go loose. Well, let's just go loose." Okay, cool. With that, though, we were talking about Mel Brooks and how his career kind of faded. Like he seemed to have lost the magic after History of the World Part 1.
Yeah, I suppose so, but he was getting on in years. So.
Well, not really. Like that was 40 years ago. That man is still alive. That means he was in his 50s when History of the World came out.
Yeah, I'm struggling to remember History of the World Part 1. I haven't seen that one in forever.
Right.
I've seen Blazing Saddles 1,000 times.
Well, the thing about History of the World Part 1, and welcome. Now we got to act professional. All right. And it's not the smallest audience I've ever done this in front of. I mean, so thank you. Ooh. Sailor Moon long boxes.
I did.
Nice. You got a particular Sailor Moon movie you like? I mean, I'm partial to Sailor Moon S, the movie where Lunar becomes...
What movie? No, really not. Anything really?
I'm just trying to get you involved. Yeah, Super S is... Yeah. I mean, I love Sailor Stars personally.
Right.
But
that whole series that they didn't show on TV for us at that time.
Yeah, and I don't think they wanted to. I think
It was the whole.
Well, I think the author of the product, like, no, Americans are not going to understand that, and judging about who our president is, we definitely do not. Mm-hmm. So. But
I like the Sailor Moon movie where it's only like about 10 minutes long, but it opens up. She starts.
Yeah, different. I don't think we can go and mention that where you can find that link. No, there's.
You can ask me after the show.
I mean, there's many of those movies. I'll just be upfront. And then we're going to end the conversation, and I don't know, he does not, your companion doesn't look over 18, so, okay, we'll leave it. Okay.
What are you guys into? You typically talk about movies that are anywhere from 70 to 90 minutes. You got a...
Well, I was reading what it was about. It says flicks, the 90s. I was like, well, that's 90 movies and, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, no, that was a reason why I've changed the name of the podcast from 90 for Chill, which was about the runtime, 70 to 100 minutes. Like, I had so many people when I was putting out the call on social media, hey, be on the show. What movie do you want to talk about? Batman 89.
No, I'm not.
Well, I'm just saying, that's a 2-hour movie. No, I can figure a way to finagle it. Like, I've done a bunch of marathon episodes with a comedian, Andrew Teedy, where it's like, I want to talk about Tombstone. Okay, that's way too long. How about you bring up a bunch of Sam Elliott movies, I bring a bunch, and then we do competing movie marathons. I ripped that off from Screen Drafts podcast where they make a the definitive best 7 list. But do you think movies are way too bloody long now?
Some are really way too long. But I mean, depends. It has to grasp your attention. It has to be immersive. There's some movies that are like 90 minutes long. It's like, that was 90 minutes? Man, that was like action.
John Wick, the first one.
Right.
And I've done all the John Wick's movies because if you make a great first movie for 100 minutes, I'm going to give you 15 minutes for the next flick. You do great with there? Okay, let's give you another half hour.
Right.
And then, hell with it, go for 3 hours. Keanu, kick butt.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. You're saying great movies. John Wick Chapter 4. Like you were saying before our audience got in here that there haven't been any great movies.
I haven't seen John Wick 4 yet.
Have you seen 2 and 3?
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen 3.
Oh.
I got kids like every day, man. It's hard for me to sit down and watch a movie.
Oh, no, and
I'm way behind on movies, but yeah, you're right, John. I'm gonna watch them.
Oh no,
John Wick was fun, dude.
But
Those
you
were fun
were
movies.
okay, and you were bringing up earlier before, we're actually entertaining people. I hope that. Oh no, people just have movies on now as background noise. So if there's enough dialogue, you'll know what's going on without even having to pay attention.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that with a John Wick movie. Bang, bang, bang. Oh, phosphorus shotgun. That's going to be interesting.
I don't know. On the subject of John Wick, have you seen Nobody? Nobody was really good.
Somebody's not paying attention to their podcast feed. That was when I went and saw John Wick Chapter 4. I also paired it with Nobody with Bob Odenkirk, and called that John Wick Chapter 3.5. It's the other half of the directing team from John Wick. So John Wick 2, they were the same guy. They were two directors. Everybody thinks of Chuck Stolas. Great. And you just don't want to go right to the phone. But, Keanu Reeves, stuntman. He took over the third and fourth. And I think he did all the reshoots for the upcoming Ballerina with Ana de Armas and Keanu and Lance Reddick. I mean, it's been in development hell for so long. Chad Stahelski, I think. And they were saying, it doesn't look good. It was directed by the guy who did the Underworld movies, Len Wiseman. And I don't think he's really done anything too bad. I like the Underworld movies. I like Live Free or Die Hard. And if they didn't put the word they didn't call it Total Recall, I think the Total Recall remake could have been good. I love Kate Beckinsale in that. It's just a great line, like when we find out she's, working for the government. What can I say? And she does an American accent at the start, and then once she turns bad, she just speaks in her English. What can I say? I get good wife.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That Total Recall remake really did just rub me the wrong way the whole way through. Like, it felt wrong the entire time I was watching it.
It didn't... The problem with it, and it's the general problem when you go and adapt a Paul Verhoeven movie, like the RoboCop remake. The only satire is getting to see Sam Jackson do his Bill O'Reilly, and no, it's amusing enough. And I
instead we get all this backstory and
we don't
robot for 45 minutes.
Right.
Like this is not what I want from RoboCop.
We killed Alex Murphy in the first 20 minutes, and then you get a robot. That's so exposition. Yeah, you really are on to something when you were saying, people use background noise. Like, I would not pay attention to I rented it, and of course I paid attention to it back in the day, but I would not lose anything when it's on TNT. And has Murphy started shooting people yet? And it just had Michael Keaton. They could have done more with him. Jay Baruchel was good. I can't remember the name of the guy who plays Rorschach. I still need to see the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, and I know everybody tells me don't. But dang it.
Yeah, we've been over this before. You really don't need to see that movie.
But no, I want to see what he does with Freddy Krueger. I think it was more the visual effects, not from what all I've gathered. It's like, no, we didn't need Freddy's actually may have been innocent angle and all that stuff. That they just basically with remakes they overly complicate it so it seems like it's something new, or not something new, something that you didn't get with the first film. So
I'm personally kind of tired of seeing remakes and backstories of anything and everything. I'm so sick of it. If you make a good movie, I don't need to see the backstory. I don't need to see where these things came from. Just take me for a ride.
Yeah, creature movies.
That's what you're talking about
Yeah.
right there, man. I don't need a backstory.
Oh, no.
Whatever.
Well, yeah, Michael.
The Black Lagoon. That's
yeah.
Hey, let's see why is he?
Right, and that's what
let my imagination fill it in.
Yeah. So if you were at the 1995 bad horror sci-fi panel I did yesterday with Lynette Englund. Oh, I did not know. So it's been a weird con in the sense that these ideas get pitched. Now, this is my podcast. Easy enough. I know what I'm doing. But when I had a Tron pod. My first panel was Tron, and get up there and hey, hi. So you volunteered for this? Yes. Are you the one who pitched it? No. Are you the one who pitched it? Okay, we're going to pretty much drive this car blind. And that happened with the Young Frankenstein. We had a lot of fun, though. Great audience. Last Jedi panel, that was the only one where we knew what we were doing, essentially. So it was interesting last night just because Lynette, let's just talk bad movies. And there we go. And I did not realize
bad B movies. I mean,
well, I didn't realize she worked on.
I love those.
She worked on. I didn't realize she worked on Beetlejuice in the effects department. She's done a lot of Charles Band movies. Ghoulies was her first movie. She was a body. She did help with the Species outfit. She was actually for the photos. Instead of making Natasha get into the suit, they had her do that for the promotional material. And she worked on Tank Girl, and then you go to talking about too much exposition. 90s
Tank Girl was awesome.
It is, but 90s comic book movies are not comic book movies. Let's just be clear about that. Tim Burton's Batman, love it. Love Batman Returns. But Tim Burton notoriously does not read comic books. Kevin Smith called him out on that because of the Ape Lincoln bit at the end of his remake of Planet of the Apes.
That's another.
And Kevin Smith said, no, I did that in his comic book about what happened, Chasing Dogma. And they had a bit in with, right, and they then bring it into Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Well, what about Tank Girl? That was a comic book. I think that is very much a comic book movie. You got the weird little creatures. It's very bubbly and fun.
It has the property.
It's got the water.
It's not a water thing. It's just our Rebecca wandering around Australia shagging kangaroos.
That's basically what the comic book is.
Yeah, but they didn't have this WP stuff. It was all just, Australia's a desert to begin with. You don't need to go, well, we're going to place it in a world with no water to begin with. Kevin Costner took all the water that year. So it basically, I want this character, the movies just wanted comic book properties, and then they go and take away all the things. Judge Dredd. It's fun until you get to the.
Well, you could say the same thing about the Marvel and DC movies now. They essentially take away all the things that make a lot of those characters interesting to make them more marketable to a broader audience.
Well, you got the marketability thing, yes, but the origin stories are a little closer, and they had to work to the Infinity Stone saga. They could have made a bunch of Iron Man movies where he's just beating up terrorists or capitalists, and that's what would have happened in the 90s. The cohesion wasn't there. X-Men started it with the reboot trilogy, and then they lost track of it. But back in the 2000s, though, it's they
also weren't popular in the 90s. The 90s was a really dark time for comic books.
Yeah, but again, so Warner Brothers has always owned DC as far as I can remember, at least probably in my entire life, and I'm 45 years old. So they've always wanted to try making movies like that. Probably the best comic book movie they made was probably Wes Craven's Swamp Thing. And
that was the only one.
the Superman movies, I think the Donner's Supermans are great. Superman 3, I hate to trash it because Richard Pryor, I'm from Peoria, he's our we don't have the whiskey anymore. We sell him to people. And Superman 4 is a canon movie, which honestly, canon movies are just fun, but not for the good reasons.
Well, those started coming out in the late 70s too, didn't they? 77 was the first one?
78 was the first Superman. And I think 81 was Superman 2. And even then, though, they were dicking around with the director's vision. There's a reason why do you watch the original cut or the Donner cut of Superman 2?
I mean, yeah, that's probably. I think that was part of the reason why Richard Donner went on to. He actually wrote Superman comic books for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did everything. I was doing a panel on movies from 1985, and Richard Donner directed The Goonies and Lady Hawk in the same year. I mean, that guy. He had a mind for cinema. Basically, is it a crazy idea? And that goes to the I Did Crazy Flicks of today. If it's crazy, then it's probably going to pique somebody's interest. Not to refer to all the Chris Alexander panels we've seen, and really we've only done 2, but he's one half of the top of Full Moon Features, and he was going on about, when he was asked about, great, underseen horror flicks, and I brought up Life Force, the movie that pretty much destroyed canon because they didn't have the money to make that kind of movie, hence why they couldn't really make Superman 4 look good.
Yeah.
And with that, it was but he goes and says Leonard Maltin liked this movie, but he just couldn't go and acknowledge it. How do you not want to see a movie about naked space vampire coming to Earth from Halley's Comet to suck the life out of people and then turn a vampire movie into a apocalypse movie? That's really where I've gone. It was a clever, just me and my buddy Andrew talking about. We got into a wrestling conversation on the podcast. We started this one, we are coming out of the A Bunch of Marks podcast. And, I'll just leave it there because it's I want to come back to this con. It's just we just came up, we noticed we had the same wrestling t-shirt, the I Dig Crazy Chicks shirt. Not going to mention CM Flunk by his name, and that was the biggest struggle with that. I'm an AEW guy, so
right.
Yeah,
right, I understand.
CM Punk rules. Fucking love that guy.
Okay,
I love him being a wrestler. I love him being in the backstage, putting his hands on people, putting people in line, screaming at people. I like it. He acts like a pro wrestler should act. He's not back there playing video games.
He's reading comic books. He's
written a few comic books.
That's true, but I don't
want to go. Drax was fun.
He's one hell of a talker with the mic.
Oh, great promo.
Oh my god.
Great promo, but it's
nonstop.
He's a great promo, but I am a underemployed professional wrestler, and from the Chicago scene.
Gotcha.
So I know Phil Brooks.
You know Philip.
Yeah. So
CM Punk put him in a chokehold until he pooped his pants and he puked.
CM Punk, I'll go straight up and say it. CM Punk would not have been able to Jungle Boy Jack Perry me.
CM Punk would have effed you up.
I have had more. No, I lost my first 6 boxing matches.
You're 45 years old and out of shape. I can see that gut poking out underneath you. Don't you go picking fights with CM Punk.
CM Punk is just a quitter. He as I say, I got my I lost 6 and had 2 brutal beatings amongst them my first 6 boxing matches. But you know what I did? I got back up. I went back at it, and had 25 total, and shouldn't have had that 25th back because I got to 500, 12-12, made more money doing that than I ever did wrestling. And then never mind, I'm a wrestler before that. And so, I gladly take CM Punk on. I'm not going to make I'd love to fight Conor McGregor right after his weigh-in before he gets back up to 200 pounds. It's still dangerous, and Conor's got a knockout punch. Punk does not. So, no, I don't want to get into.
Here, Russ Stevens calling you out.
I've called the moment he signed he signed a UFC deal. I've tried.
He'll be there waiting for you.
The moment he signed, I was writing wrestling blogs back in the day, and the moment he signed the UFC, and I still liked the guy at that time. In other words, I'm also friends with Cabana, so. Okay, so at that time, and what I wrote it basically like, hey, put me up against him. We've had similar backgrounds. I'm probably gonna, he should beat me. That's what you wanted, and it's like, but no, Punk wouldn't put the effort in. He just, they could have given. There's definitely tomato cans out there, as I say. I think so, and then I see him fight, and it's like, I think I got it.
He was hilarious in Let's Start a Cult. He's this weird, pervert guy that lives in a trailer. He was pretty funny in that movie. It caught me by surprise. I'm a Stavros Halkias fan. I watched that movie primarily for Stavi. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's CM Punk. And I was watching it and he is really funny right now. I wasn't expecting it. I've seen him in a few horror flicks.
I think Punk's. I've heard good. I've heard a lot of. There's a lot of fans for the Girl on the Third Floor that Punk was a star of a movie, and I know he's done one with Broderick Crampton. So I'll go see that. He's got friends in the business, the movie business. He could have probably just done that. I don't think he was any good in the Rabid remake. But fortunately, the Rabid remake is good. I think at least it's more cohesive than the original vision of Cronenberg. Hey, I've already been spouting blasphemy and calling out, wrestlers. So I'm not worried about that. Yeah.
He's a poor man's Kevin Owens.
KO's a cool guy, though.
He's an instigator, man.
The reason I'm not a great professional wrestler is because I was a real fighter going into it, and it's like we were talking about it at the last Jedi panel we did, and some kid, come on, the choreography in the Star Wars lightsaber battles, that's ridiculous. They're aiming for the lightsabers and stuff, and it's like, one, we had a great guy just bring up the fact that this is called editing and such. That's why you're trying to poke holes in it, and I brought up the Sonny Corleone punch. Didn't get that reaction, but the point of the matter is we didn't care that he whiffed on Carlo. We just like to see Carlo get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And The Godfather. So. Yeah, it was so I just told that guy, look, if it's a real fight, I always had a problem with people, okay, so it's going to be punch, you're going to block, kick, block. It's like, no, I know how to, no, I'm a fighter. My boxing I'm going to take 3 to give one good one. And in a real fight, no, there's no blocking. And watch a UFC match. There's parrying, but otherwise, you check leg kicks. But unless you just go and cover up, there's no blocking. There's no blocking.
Right. You're more covering what you're just at. So.
Right. So, yeah. So, crazy movies, sub 100-minute movies. I mean, my favorite movie is Trainspotting. Good one. Well, I mean, I like the joke with, there's a podcast I listen to called the B3 podcast. It's Ewan McGregor's breakout role. And, they were like, they've done a lot of crapping on Mary Elizabeth Winstead for breaking up Ewan McGregor's marriage. And I was like, no. If Ewan McGregor came up to me and said, hello there, I'm his. So, it's a Trainspotting. It's a movie about Scottish heroin addicts based on the novel by Irvin Welsh. And guys obsessed with Iggy Pop in Glasgow. No, I'm sorry, it's Edinburgh. But no, definite watch. They've referenced it in Family Guy when Stewie had a pancake addiction. First season episode.
Okay.
Yeah, got to go back away, but
I just remember that guy who was always starting fights. I forget his name.
Oh, Robert Carlyle is Begbie.
Yeah, that was his name.
Robert Carlyle of Ravenous, which I haven't talked about on the podcast yet. The movie about Western cannibals at a Western Army base in I think it was Utah or so. Guy Pearce is the guy who knows about it, and knows about the power of it, of cannibalism. Robert Carlyle lives for it. So great villain role there. He was also in a movie I haven't talked about because they do run a little long, but they are crazy, so I can't talk about them now. The 28 Days series, or the 28 series, I guess you would say. 28 Days Later. Robert Carlyle was the guy who spread the virus again in 28 Weeks Later.
Would you call that a comic book movie? Because those two were comic books.
The problem is, back in 2002, the only comic book movie that we knew worked were Spider-Man and X-Men. So I think after the 90s, with the failure of Tank Girl financially, we're not going artistically.
Become a cult classic.
Yeah.
Though. Later on,
but failure of Judge Dredd, you're definitely it was toxic to talk about comic books. Never mind, you had they wanted to make Tim Burton's Superman with Nicolas Cage. There's lots of fun.
I remember seeing shots from that way back when Nicolas Cage he looked like such a bummer of a Superman.
Well, the long hair didn't help, but it was Tim Burton's vision of a concept. It was not a comic. So it wasn't going to be a comic book movie. Again,
I think he'd be a great Brainiac, though.
If you watch, I've gone into the 5th season of Harley Quinn. I can't. Dang it! I always forget his name. He's done a lot of work with Hugh Laurie, and he was on the British series Blackadder. Stephen Fry, the voice of another movie, doesn't get enough love because of adaptation issues, would be The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I liked it. Stephen Fry's the voice of the guidebook.
Yeah, I love that movie.
Yes. Okay. So he's currently the voice of Brainiac on Harley Quinn.
That's why I always have a towel.
So,
no, I'm really holding out for a really good John Constantine movie. Just a straight, if they did the storyline where he gives the devil AIDS, I think that would be the coolest movie ever made. And
that is a great pitch for the upcoming Keanu Reeves sequel to Constantine.
Oh, why?
I know.
They just made him Batman, and it bugs me.
You wanted to talk about super pets on the podcast. Okay, so let's see. Who was I looking for?
Super Pets was fun, man.
I heard differently, but that was my parents. They just don't understand.
They never do.
Yeah, so, but I was trying to find.
I also have a 4-year-old daughter, and I was very happy that she liked that movie.
Oh, well, there you go. But no, I would love to see a Constantine with Matt Ryan as Constantine. He is Constantine.
A Chaz that isn't a little boy.
Oh, well.
His best friend that drives him around.
No, yeah. Well,
he's actually he's a pinnacle character in that series. He's
right.
a very important character.
Yeah, and of course they wiped him out. But, that's what you do with Shia LaBeouf. You, that's the only way we're going to enjoy him is if you kill him off. Constantine. So I'd love to see a Matt Ryan Constantine. I mean, he was on the Hellstar. I think it was Hellblazer. They tried making it a series on NBC, and then
it was a pretty good series.
He's done, but he's been the voice in the animated products ever since. So I'd love to see a Constantine with an English actor. But and we did a podcast about all these DC animated comic book movies. I don't think, and Justice League Dark. It's the City of Angels was a good one where where Constantine has to go to Los Angeles to answer for some crimes he did in one of my favorite English towns of Newcastle.
Yeah.
So there's so much potential out there.
Much stuff.
But so if you were going to do we had if you do Matt Ryan Constantine, then you have to go and just say, well, we love the series. You want to know more about him, so you couldn't make it a 70, 100-minute movie. But I guess again, you do something right, I will give you more. You don't do it right, you better not have wasted all my time. And that's what the concept of 90 for Chill is. Talk about movies that don't waste your time, get it done.
You could do that very easily just out of the first issue of Hellblazer, where he's trying to save his junkie friend. He's got all the foot with all the flies and the demon and.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can do it.
You could probably do it on a really low budget too, because it's basically it takes place in one spot.
That is the big problem with Hollywood. They take gambles. They are expecting $1 billion movies, and they think if you're going to get a $1 billion movie, you have to spend $200 million to do it.
It's so stupid. Like, you can make something engaging for very little.
Right? No, and
bang.
And I'm not saying there haven't been great bombs. Like, if it wasn't for the Oscar buzz, Mad Max Fury Road would have been a huge loss for Warner Brothers. And for some reason they thought, I think we can do the same thing with Furiosa.
Yeah, that was odd.
Spend the same kind of money and it's going to get the same result. And it's not the definition of insanity because they tried it once and it worked eventually. But you're not going to be able to do it again.
No, I'm going to get to it eventually. It does look like a good movie, but it's like, why is it Fury? She was in one movie.
Well, I mean, because she was the most engaging thing about Fury Road. Tom Hardy was awful as Mad Max.
Oh no, I kind of like the guy with the guitar.
But no, Tom Hardy. He takes a lot of swings. Like, he's got to make every character sound different. That's just something he wants to do, which made him great as. If he only had good scripts, it would have made the Venom movies great. And I guess, Tom Hardy was a great Venom, and Eddie Brock.
But they killed it with comedy, trying to make Venom funny.
I don't think they killed it with comedy. That was a convoluted. They went with a convoluted way in the first movie, which made it you just feel that drag. And it wasn't the comedy issues. I love the comedy in it. It was the fact that, we have to have a villain and we have to give him a story. Like, I'm not a big fan of Venom, There Will Be Carnage, but at least there we already knew what was coming up. You could research that on your own. And for the most part, they kind of did. They kind of just let Cletus just be his own thing. That's where the comedy went and killed that movie. And then, like, the moment we have Venom in the rave with glow sticks, it's like, oh no, you're giving me Joel Schumacher Batman flashbacks.
Yeah.
Neon is something that needs to stay out of comic books. That I think we can agree on. No, comic book movies. That I think we can agree on.
Again, I think that depends on the setting in the book, but...
Oh no,
I mean,
if it's a
Venom,
cyberpunk movie, definitely.
I've been a big fan of Venom for pretty much my entire life. I've been reading Spider-Man comic books, and not once has Venom ever been funny. He's violent and crazy.
Well,
I want him violent and crazy. He's not supposed to be making me laugh.
So,
I want him screaming meat and trying to eat things.
So here's the reason why Venom is funny. It's because that's what Todd McFarlane thinks is funny. He's a sick puppy, and like I just want his things get destroyed. I did talked about Death Wish a few podcasts ago, or not a few podcasts, the last podcast. Death Wish 3, Death Wish classic, Death Wish 2. Death Wish 3, that is where the police say, there's a police chief who says, you know what, just do what you do Paul Kersey.
I never saw that one.
Oh, it's basically, nobody's going to stop him from cleaning up a bad neighborhood. And but it's mean. Like, this isn't like a Hong Kong, it's not like a Hong Kong action movie like Hard Boiled. Like, greatest 45 minutes in cinema might be Hard Boiled's hospital finale. What's going on is, so when you see innocent nurses get shot and such, well, that just happens, collateral damage. In Death Wish 3, you want to kill Paul Kersey, you want to kill Bronson. No, we're going to take time to go and smoke out other people and kill them. And it's like, and they get brutal deaths. It's not simple bang, bang, bang. No. Oh no, we're going to firebomb them. It's like you're taken away from your mission. But that would be something Todd McFarlane would like.
Yeah.
So,
we liked it too. So.
I know, I didn't really like Death Wish 3 because it's not Commando silly. Because Mando, we didn't kill Radon Chong or, a few cops die in the mall. But otherwise, it's like, no. It's our hero killing all the bad guys. Rambo, we did get a little... Rambo First Blood Part 2. We did get a little bit of emotion when I think her name was Julia Nickel, who played the in for him in Vietnam, gets killed. And like, oh great, now Rambo wants to save his friends, and now he has revenge. That's what we want to see. Shamefully, I don't own the first Rambo movie, First Blood. Is it a superior movie than the other 4? I would say so. That's not what I want. And that's, again, goes to the crazy element. I would not call First Blood a crazy movie. It's just a great allegory of PTSD and what we did to our troops in Vietnam. As for Rambo 2 through 5, no, that's all just like, oh, let's make a Russian conspiracy that they're still punishing troops that Soviets didn't really have much involvement aside from getting supplying the weapons to the insurgents, and that was probably more China. So.
Oh yeah, they kept that going for a while. The new Rambos are surprisingly violent.
Oh, Rambo!
Wow.
I
was expecting some violence, but there were scenes, and especially the last one. Like, wow.
Well, the last one.
They were really doing this, huh?
The last one, the violence is the only thing that saves that movie. You got a decent story with Rambo 2006, I want to say. But Last Blood, it's a pretty depressing tale. If Rambo does not rip this guy's heart out and show it to him before he dies, this movie is for naught. So, fortunately, it delivered. So yeah, we are the last thing. So I know we're running. So we've ran long. thank you very much for coming to our podcast. Hopefully I did not bore the little one too much. All right. Well, thank you. Lip service is appreciated. You can be as honest as you like. Is there anything we should change about what we do? All right. No, it's very good. Thanks for coming. You can follow me on my social medias. I'm on Blue Sky and Instagram at CatBus Russ. I don't do a lot on Instagram. I do not do a lot on Instagram. If you want to be a guest on the podcast, feel free to send an email to russthebus07@gmail.com. That's RUSSTHEBUS07@gmail.com. Offer me a movie, a theme, a director, an actor, as long as there's something bonkers about the movie. So, don't give me we're not going to talk about Anora, something I need to see. And
I didn't see that either.
I mean, it's crazy, but it's kind of still tied down to reality. So Dune Part 2, maybe. Otherwise, if you want to talk about a movie that's pretty grounded, it's got to be between 70 and 100 minutes. I just need to thank my Patreon subscribers, patreon.com/IDidCrazyFlix. They give me $3 a month, so my cat food at least has a week of food. My cat has a week of wet food. She's a diva. Love the Queen Kitty Ava. That's Tim Bates, friend of the show. He's been on episodes about Night of the Demons from 1988, and the following year, Arena, the Charles Band alien boxing movie. And then the last people to thank are Stacia Hardin, my best friend. I hope she's done a great job looking after me the last 20 years since she left us. And I hope she's done that for everybody else she touched in her life. And I hope she's squeezing the ectoplasm out of my fluffy cat, Skimbleshanks, the one-eared angel. Thank you, Gregory Carl, for making the trip with me from Central Illinois to Indianapolis. Putting up with me in the same hotel room for 2 nights. And
you're not that bad.
he, before the audience came, he was saying different things, but but almost an intervention. So I always end my podcast usually with David Tennant from Good Omens stating, "Can I get a wahoo?"
Can I hear a wahoo?